for your love.
My dad took a leadership in the home of faith. Everyone say faith. Write this acronym down. F-A-I-T-H. Full assurance in the heart. They've been told that their son will never walk. They were told that their son will never go to school. They were told many things. But they didn't know the beauty that could come from this little child in the fullness. They, though, wanted to give that a chance. The opportunity for something beautiful to come from the ashes. My mom and dad, they agreed, after obviously talking about it, that they're going to keep me as their own son. They're not going to give me up for an adoption. They didn't feel qualified to be a parent of a limbless child, but they kept me. They loved me, they raised me, and they saw me as a gift of God, just differently packaged. They later had a son and a daughter after me, and my parents to me are my heroes. I've been trying to convince my dad for so long to write a book. I twisted his arm, he said yes. So he is currently writing a book about parenting, and I believe that so many people can learn from my parents' stories, but yet when you talk to them, they don't think that they're special at all. They said, well, we did what any parent would have done if they loved their son. And I say, no, not any parent, not every parent. And they say, yes, okay, by the grace of God, we loved you, we loved each other, we stayed together as a family. Do you know that 80% of marriages affected with a child with disability goes into divorce? 80%. And as I grew up as a kid, you know, people ask me, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, I don't know, a doctor? Can you imagine if I'm your surgeon? You would convince me that you don't need surgery anymore. Okay? Or I want to be a policeman. Oh, really? I find a criminal and he has to put his own handcuffs on? Ain't gonna happen. It's funny how especially men, everyone say men. It's funny how especially men, the way that we are wired, that when we feel like we can provide more opportunities for our family, in other words, money, that we feel a little better. That we feel a little bit more important. And our ego sort of grows a little, just a little. First of all, I hope that's not you. And if it is you, please switch around your true north on your compass. Because I'll tell you right now, the moment you start believing that your value as a human being is determined on anything that has to do with money, you're starting to believe a lie that could grow into other lies. You need to come to the truth of how invaluable you are, meaning infinitely valuable. There's not another you. There'll never be another you. Okay? You are irreplaceable. And I don't know about how you live from day to day. Can you turn me down so I feel free to scream? Because I feel like I'm a little loud. Is anyone thinking I'm a little loud? Okay, well, I'm about to get louder, so just turn it down a little bit. I don't know how you live, but I want you to know the way that I live. Every time that I say goodbye to my wife, okay, I only work 5 weeks a year. I work 5 weeks a year, motivationally speaking. And that's enough for my family. And there's cool opportunities and people I get to meet in settings like this who will never see me at a Christian concert, at a Christian church or Christian settings. And so I don't want to just talk to Christians, I want to talk to everyone. And so for me in my life, I have my own balance, and then I have the non-profit, and I give 20 weeks of my time, yes, as a CEO as well. I have a salary from that, but it's nothing compared to my entire income and all the things that's going on. I have made decisions as a bachelor for a bachelor lifestyle. When I was single, I spoke 278 times on average every single year. Every 3 days I was on a plane, okay? 4 years straight. That did not happen when I got married. It slowed down quite a bit. Guess what? It slowed down even more when my first son came into our life. And it's now slowing down even more. We're talking the gift of family. How you lead first your family. The truth of your value in your family. Because when you know the truth of the value of your family, that's when your family understands the truth of their value. And what you pass on to your kids, they will pass on to their kids. If your dad was an alcoholic, I'm sorry for that. I really am. But now you know what not to do for your kids and what to do better for them. You see, you can't just use excuses that technology has stolen my children. Please don't use that excuse. When I go to the dinner table, my wife takes my phone away. No one's gonna die if no one hears from Nick Vujivic after 5 p.m. that day. No one's gonna die. I'm not a doctor on call. I'm a CEO of 14 employees. No one's gonna die. They can wait till tomorrow. Correct? When I am with my family, I am with my family, and I am present there in the mind and the heart. Family is so important. And I feel sorry for the parents who've divorced, who feel like they need to now, quote unquote, make it up to them and give their children whatever they need and whatever they feel and whatever they want. I'll tell you right now, so many parents who've been married for all their life still spoil their kids. My parents never spoiled me. They never did. If I wanted to buy something at the store, guess who bought it? I did. With whose money? My money. How to get the money? I vacuumed the house for $2 a week. 6 years old. That was my chore. Everyone say chore. Okay, so I got the vacuum cleaner. I'm vacuuming the house. I fix my bed with my teeth. The next time your children complain about fixing up their bed, tell them to shut up and do it with their teeth. Then come and talk to you. It's not about being rude. It's not about being, how do you say, strict. It's teaching them value. When you earn $2, you think twice what you want to buy. Yes? Good. Then you start learning to hear about what saving is and what investing is. And that's why Nick bought his first investment property at age 19, flipped it for 50% in 12 months. Because of the values that my parents have taught me. You start on values. You don't go for money. You go for values and passion. And don't worry about the money. The money will come. Money comes, money goes. Money comes, money goes. Money won't make you happy. But a family of love does. And every time. And every time I come home, it was a home of refuge. Teach your family values. And no matter where you're at, you can't change the past. But as your teenagers see you sort of reaching out, you might be surprised they may meet you halfway. I'm going to tell my daughter every day, if I ever have a daughter, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. You know what she's going to say? Of course you're going to tell me I'm beautiful. I'm your daughter. She may put a do not disturb sign on her door. You know what I'm going to do with the do not disturb sign? I'll respect the sign, then I go out the front door, go around the house, stick my head through her window and say, "You're beautiful!" Because if I ain't telling my daughter that she's beautiful, who will? Magazines? TV? Friends? I don't think so. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. I love you and I believe in your full potential. I don't care how you look. I don't care what you have. I don't know what education you have. I don't care about that. I love you. You are irreplaceable. Every soul on this planet is valuable. There is not one soul who's more valuable than another, and there is not one soul that is less valuable than another. I don't care so much about how much money you have in the bank, but I care about how you speak to your employees who are below you in the chain. I don't care what trophies you have, but I care about how much you love your wife. If I don't show my son how a husband should love his wife, who's going to teach him that? If I don't show my son the value of remaining a virgin until you meet your wife, then who will? There are choices and values in life. Money, drugs, sex, alcohol, pornography, fame, and fortune. If you put your happiness in temporary things, your happiness will be temporary. So here's this. If this was the last 30 seconds to breathe, who are you? When was the last time you hugged your children and told them that you love them? When was the last time you took your wife out on a date? I take my wife out on a date every second week, and will continue to do that. Oh, that's impossible. No, it's not. I have friends who've been married for 60, 61 years, and every Friday they have alone time, a date. Okay? And they didn't care where they were, they didn't care who was there. You have the choice. When I was 8 years old, I started having conclusions about my future. Okay? Now, we don't know really what the future holds until we give the future a chance. Correct? Okay. So when I was 8 years old, I started thinking of not giving my future a chance at all, because I concluded that it was nothing but hopeless, lonely, and scary. Fear will cripple you more than having no arms or legs. And at age 8, you see that book over there? Let's say that this is a timeline across the table, and this is present day. I'm 32 years old, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm an evangelist, I'm an entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. Now here I am at 8 years old. I didn't know that that was ahead, and that I would be happy, that I have purpose, that I have peace, that I have strength and joy. Okay? When I was 8, encouragement brought me closer to my full destiny, and lies took me away. And I let the lies grow and grow and grow. Nick, you're not good enough. Nick, you'll never get married. You can't even hold your wife's hand. You can't even pick up your kids when they're crying. You're not going to have a job. You're just going to be a burden to your parents. Just give up. At age 10, I tried to commit suicide. And I'm glad that I'm still here. The only reason why I did not go through with the suicide was because of one thought. And it was the image in my mind of seeing my mom and my dad crying at my grave. I couldn't do that to them. They've done nothing but sacrifice their life and given me love for me. So I didn't want to leave them with that pain. Parents, your love and your initiation of intentional planting of seeds of love, affirmation, and faith grow without you knowing. You might see your teenagers going through rebellious times, and I don't have a teenager yet, but I've spoken to millions of teenagers face to face. 2 million face to face. I want you to know that in your life, every interaction that you have with your family, with your friends, with your work colleagues, if I look at you and I just stare at your forehead or I stare at your lips instead of looking at your eyes, you could nearly say that even if I come up to you and sort of look at you for a second and then look away, some people sort of interact with you as if you're not even there. When you interact with someone and you look them in the eyes and you say, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, I'm fine." But you know deep down something about that fine that she just said or he said, there's something not fine. No, really, watch this. Then you say, "No, really, look at, really, are you okay? Do you want to go have a coffee?" Regardless if they say yes or no, do you know what you've done? You've planted a seed in their mind and their heart that they're actually worthwhile. Of those couple seconds that you took. When you look at strangers down the street, you don't know who's already thinking that they are worthless and they are invisible because of what their family has done to them or their best friend has done to them or their husband or their wife. And you look at them and you just take a second to look them in the eye, in the soul, in the windows of their soul and smile. Or you're at a cafe and you buy someone a coffee. For what? Just because. Now, I'm not a good person for the sake of me going to bed and saying, I'm a good person. I'm not a good person to do good deeds to just tell my ego, "Hey, did you see that? Yeah, Nick, that was pretty good. Oh, thanks, Nick." I didn't do that. I do good to plant seeds for them to find their full potential. For them to know that they're loved. Tell yourself first the truth of your value and then emanate that to others. That's what my parents did for me. And when you realize the lies, they're just a voice. You know what you can do in that voice? Talk to the foot because the ears ain't listening. And you turn around and you take one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. Now here's the key, the practical steps. Here it is. I'm going to give you 7 points today that you can always come back to. Number 1, an attitude of gratitude. Everyone say, "I am thankful." I am thankful. Let me tell you, one day I'm on the football field and my friend is kicking a soccer ball to me and I'm a short guy, okay? And the ball was coming at me like a missile. Do you understand me? I was so scared my knees were shaking. The ball was coming at me and I'm thinking, man, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's going to hurt me. So I'm thinking, can I headbutt it? No, it's a little bit too low to headbutt. Can I kick it? No, it's a little bit too low to kick. So, you know, like the Matrix, everything goes in slow motion. I jump up in the air and I do a karate kick in the air and I go, whoo, like this. And the ball came, bent my foot backwards, bent it on itself, and I heard a and I was like, "Oh!" And my foot went, "Oh!" I love my foot. I got 2 toes. Peace. I can type 43 words a minute on a normal computer, and after 2 cups of coffee, 53 words a minute. Okay? This little foot, I need this thing. I was 13 years old when I sprained my foot, and I was in bed for 3 weeks. Staring at the ceiling. Like, man, I'm disabled. And I realized something. Stop complaining about what you don't have and be thankful for what you do have. Point number 2, you don't know what you can achieve until you what? Try. You did that. Good. Point number 3, when you fail, you're going to what? Good. Try again. Good. So number 1, be thankful. Number 2, You don't know what you can achieve until you try. Let me show you what courage is. No, I'm not going to jump off the table, okay? But watch this. If I'm on this stage and no one is here, I don't know what your definition of courage is, but courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is when you do something, even when you're afraid. If no one is here in this room to help me off this table, and a fire is coming through the room, will I or will I not jump off the table? Same pain, same fear. What changed? Situation changed. It's not just situation. There has to be a revelation of a situation, which means that a revelation of a situation is that you found something that you did not have before. What is that word? Starts with purpose. It's purpose. Do you like the way I said that? Purpose. When you know why you gotta do what you gotta do, then you have the strength to do what you gotta do. You don't wait till you're not afraid. We're all afraid. Let me tell you. I'll give you, what do you got? The 3, did I give you 3 points?
Yep.
Let me give you 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to share with you how all these points were plugged into in how I became a speaker. Point number 4 is obstacles equals opportunity. Point number 5 is failure equals education. Point number 6 is dream big. And point number 7 is never give up. Good? So I was 17 years old, and you know my humorous self as a teenager, doing many things and sparking up conversations with different strangers, but a conversation that I never thought I'd really have was with the janitor at my school one day. I would wait every day for my taxi to take me home, 1 hour after school. And he saw me alone, he came a little closer to me, and I came a little closer to him, and we started talking. We became friends very quickly. Indian man, his name was Arnold. After 2-3 weeks of just talking and being friends, he looked at me one day and he said, "Nick, you're gonna be a speaker." And I said, "Arnold, you're a crazy old man." I said, "What do you mean I'm gonna be a speaker?" I said, what do you think I'm gonna speak about?" He said, "You're gonna share your story." I said, "I don't have a story." He said, "Yes, you do." I said, no, I don't." And he said, "Nick, don't you know about the student support group that meets every Friday at lunch? And they just share from their heart?" I said, "Yeah, I know about them." He said, "Well, why don't you go there?" I said, "No." I said, "Leave me alone, man. You don't know what you're talking about." I thought he would leave it and let it go. The very next day, "Hey, you need to go. Go and speak." I said, "No, man, leave me alone." The next day, I started hiding from him. He comes and finds me. This happened for months. And I said, no. He twisted my arm and I said, yes. I went there and I spoke in front of 10 students. And I didn't know what to share. My palms were sweaty. But I just spoke from the heart. And when I was done, I looked up and I saw a girl cry. I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "Uh-huh." I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Nothing." I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, "Oh, I was just touched." I said, "Who touched you?" I was ready to headbutt someone. I was like, "Who just touched her, man?" And then I realized, no, she was touched in her heart. I'm like, thinking, really? said, can we have your number? I said, what do you want my number for? They said, well, we want to call you. I said, what do you want to call me for? Well, we want you to speak again. I said, for what? So I gave him my number and I started getting calls, and I did this church and this youth group and this student support group and blah, blah, blah. Lo and behold, I went in front of 300 16-year-old girls and boys in a public high school. I got up in front of the audience. I had 7 minutes to talk. Within 3 minutes, half the girls were crying. And one girl in the middle of the room started weeping uncontrollably. And as a speaker, I had to make a decision: do we keep on going, do we stop? And just hearing the depth of her weeping and her sorrow, I couldn't go on. When I stopped, everyone turned and looked at her. And she slowly raised her hand and she said, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but can I come up there and give you a hug? I said, sure. She got up and she came up on stage and she gave me a hug and she cried on this shoulder. And she whispered in my ear, thank you, thank you, thank you. No one has ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way I am. My heart fell to the floor because I know that I wouldn't be here if it were not for my mom and dad to tell me those two simple things. And I realized how many millions of people out there in the world just need to hear that they're loved. And I looked her in her eyes, and you know what I saw? Hope. You can tell when someone gets hope. You can't buy hope. You can't get a vaccination of hope. I can't pull hope out of my pocket and put it in yours. Hope, though, is everything. And I'm like, whoa, that was awesome. I came home and I said, Mom and Dad, I know what I want to be for the rest of my life. My dad said, good. Finish school first. I said, yes, Dad, I will. My mom, she's washing the dishes. She's looking down at me, and I'm looking up at her, and she says, so, you know what you want to be, huh? I'm like, huh? She says, what? I said, I want to be a speaker. She crossed her arms like this. I said, come again? You want to be a speaker? Like a job? And I said, uh-huh. She said, do you know any speakers who have that job?